All right, so day 12, I watched Deranged, which I got from this MGM Midnight Movies 2-pack I found at a store a couple months ago. I've, of course, seen Motel Hell, if you're going to ask that. I've seen that before a lot. I've got the Blu-ray as well for that Steelbook Scream Factory. But that was a little side note. But Deranged is another one of those Ed Gein horror movies. And this came out in 1974, right whenever Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out. So it's weird to see that this one came out right whenever another Ed Gein similar movie came out. Um, and of course, I don't know much about, I know the basics about Ed Gein. I'm not really into the real life horror stuff. I like the horror that's not really real. And this one, even the movie starts out saying all this stuff happened, which apparently is not true because I looked it up afterward. So a lot of it is true, but not all of it. But instead of being called Ed Gein, you've got a character named Ezra or Ez, who's played by Robert Blossom, who is a actor that was in other stuff that I've seen before. He was in Christine, and he was in Home Alone as Old Man Marley. And I've watched Home Alone a million times as a kid, but he plays the main killer here. And the thing that surprised me in this movie, genuinely, and they do a good job with this, and I was actually legitimately surprised at how it's a horror movie about a serial killer, but it starts out where it's just this guy who's a mama's boy, and his mom dies, and he is truly torn that she is gone because that was his only friend, and he goes crazy, and he acts like she's still there, like she's coming home. Then he eventually takes her corpse back home, and then he becomes a serial killer, and he does grave robbings. But the way that it starts out, I actually felt empathy for him, and Robert Blossom did a great job. It was genuinely hard to watch, and I don't mean the gory stuff. It's not a super gory movie. There's some gore, but I mean it's hard to watch, in which the actor did a really great job whenever he really does go crazy and breaks. But I love that there's a sense of humanness to him, even though this is a guy who does horrible things. I really liked that and appreciated that. And again, based on the Ed Gein story, and I know, again, I haven't looked up a whole lot about Ed Gein, but I know that based on movies I've seen like Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ed Gein had a mom who made him misogynistic, and he took her corpse back home, and then he went and killed people. So that, and also at the end of this movie, the character Mary gets tied up in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I guess a lot of that is similar to whatever really happened. And I like how they just really did a great job of making you really feel sympathy for this character. And then when he does crazy stuff, it's scary and it's effective and it really works. I also like, too, it had a character named Miss May, who was the actress from Black Christmas. Or not Miss May, I'm sorry. Mrs. Mack from Black Christmas. I wrote that wrong. I knew it was Miss Mack from Black Christmas, but the actress who played her is in this movie. And she's really interesting and fun as well. And I like how this character says out loud, I am not a heavy drinker. And just right before this, or maybe right after this, she did Black Christmas, where she was a heavy alcoholic in that movie, her character. So it's funny to see the difference between a character, her doing that character in where she's a heavy drinker in that movie, and then not in this one at all, and never drank anything. And it's just funny because they're both so close together. I think they both came out in 74, so it's just funny to see that similarity. But that's cool that she's in it. There's a funny scene where she has a seance with Ez, and she says to her husband who's been gone, she says, Herbert, enter me. And she's holding the hands, how whenever you do a seance, and she's saying that out loud, and it's so silly. And it's basically just her trying to get Ez to have sex with her. But it's really funny. And this movie surprisingly has some dark humor in it that works really well. There are some great moments with Robert Blossom where he will say, speaking with that scene in the seance where her husband is talking through her in the seance, and she asks him a question. He asked him a question, and then Ez goes, "Yes, sir, ma'am." I like that line because he did a nice little stutter that was so funny, and it's just such a funny character moment, and I really like that. I like the fact that the whole movie Just did a great job of that. It is a horror movie, most definitely. It is. It is not. It's disturbing because it's based on something that really happened. But I thought that the movie did a great job of being just really effective, and I really am surprised that this one I liked as much as I did. It really did a great job of being a really good horror movie. And again, I'm not usually the biggest fan of these based on real life things, even though I love Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But this one I thought did a great job of it. I really enjoyed Deranged. Like this one was really fun, um, fun and creepy at the same time. It did a good mixture of both. So I'm glad I got to see this one finally for 31 days. And stay tuned. I've got more videos coming up. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.